Story time. We usually equate it with children, but not anymore. Storytelling has never been more popular, and it's no longer kid stuff. In this week's show, we explore the comeback of an age-old tradition. We'll begin with Be Heard, people from all walks of life putting themselves out there in front of an audience as entertainers and educators.
There's something really beautiful about a well-crafted story that comes across that becomes so meaningful and almost unforgettable.
Then we take it up a notch with the Storytelling Project, a nationwide initiative of the USA Today, visiting all corners of the country, encouraging people to share their personal truths. And a moving story told with moving pictures. Our photojournalists use video storytelling to share an impactful story about life and death. Plus, a tiny pup with a tall tale to tell. We'll have those stories along with the latest in our Positively Healthy Medical series. I'm Amy Osher, and this is Behind the Headlines. Hi, I'm Amy Osher. Thanks for joining us. Wikipedia defines storytelling as a social and cultural activity of sharing stories, using improvisation, theatrics, or embellishment. In recent years, there's been a trend in storytelling to share and preserve experiences. Person to person, storytelling is now a new way to bring people together.
It is right that you should admire these men and respect what they wrought, but take care not to make of them wooden idols.
Janina Bertolo brings history to life every time she takes the stage. Dressed as an historical figure, she's treating this crowd to Abigail Adams, giving a first-hand account of the Revolutionary War.
Rather than just doing, hi, I was born, I did this, I died, I try to find the lesson from their lives that I think is relevant to our lives today.
It's one twist to this age-old tradition, using the spoken word as art, entertainment, and education.
There's something really beautiful about a well-crafted story that comes across that becomes so meaningful and almost unforgettable.
As a soft-spoken young doctor, Joel Ying had a circuitous route into storytelling.
I wanted to do talks around town because I was starting a new practice and I wanted to get new clients, and that's how I ended up in Toastmasters. But I saw a storyteller come to one of the meetings, and for the first time I was just captivated, and I really thought, I want to be able to do that.
So he spent time fine-tuning his craft, looking for an audience and gaining his voice.
One of my stories in particular, I remember working it from every angle. I gave it to several different groups, and one time I worked on local variety, and another time I worked on gestures.
Are they kind of morality tales?
Well, they always have a message. They always say something. I have another story that's another folktale called The Man with No Luck, and it's really hilarious, but it's about a man who is completely unlucky, and he says, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna find God and ask God why I have no luck.
Despite being one of the oldest forms of communication, storytelling is enjoying a rebirth, going from coffeehouse cool to mainstream markets.
When I listen to a storytelling performer really craft their story, they have a message in it that they want to gift me.
The joint activity of giving and receiving speaks volumes.
Storytelling is the shortest distance between two people. It really is about connection.
As part of the USA Today network, both Naples Daily News and the Fort Myers News Press are taking part in the Storytellers Project. Both properties are curating and hosting nights of true first-person stories.
I want to know who killed my son, and I want to look him in the eye, and I want to ask him why.
I love you.
It was what I didn't know I was missing.
Here you are. All right, Nicole has an awesome story about being the right person at the right time, but perhaps in the wrong place.
Your life is made up of millions of stories. Sharing them speaks to the heart of who you are, where you've been, and where you want to go.
Every seemingly lame moment can turn into something. You just don't know which moment that's going to be. So don't waste any of them.
There was one changed man, me.
At the Storytellers Project, our journalists coach people to share entertaining and illuminating stories for diverse audiences. Together, we blend the authenticity and discipline of storytelling with the truthfulness, empowerment, and community building that's at the heart of great journalism.
Without risk, there are fewer rewards.
So if you have a choice or you have a dream, go for it.
Join us at the next Storytellers Night near you, because when people share stories, they feel more connected and more willing to invest in their communities.
What kind of an a-hole doesn't like Santa Claus?
No, she rolls down the window and starts throwing barf bags out the window.
What if this is the killer? Now I'm giving him a ride back.
Oh! I'm going to die a 19-year-old virgin on the Nile River.
I love you. Marry me?
You're perfect. This is amazing. Who are you?
Plans for storytelling nights in Southwest Florida are already underway. The effort kicking off this week in Naples. We opened our doors to a crowd of local supporters to share the news of the inaugural storytelling events for both the Naples Daily News and the Fort Myers News Press.
They have the freedom to create themes that they think are important to them. How a specific city became home is a very popular theme, and you can insert the name of the city that is. So the stories that you'll find in Kentucky and in Louisville are going to be vastly different than those that are here in Southern Florida.
Coming up, an unforgettable story from the Fort Myers News Press. A local man struggling after outliving his hospice care. That's ahead on Behind the Headlines.
Life here is amazing, and so is the joint care. At the Total Joint Center at Physicians Regional Healthcare System, we've changed the experience of joint replacement for good. With our comprehensive joint care program, most hip and knee replacement patients return home in just 2 days, because we know you want to get on with your active life. Pain-free living starts at Physicians Regional Medical Center, Collier Boulevard, and Physicians Regional Medical Center, Pine Ridge.
Hiring the right moving company is important. Best Moving and Storage is a family-owned and operated business serving Southwest Florida for over 22 years. From our free in-home estimate until the last piece of furniture is in your new place or stored in our climate-controlled warehouse, we treat you like family. Best Moving and Storage is fully licensed and insured, with all of our employees being certified drivers and packers. When it comes to protecting your treasured belongings, choose a company that's experienced and trustworthy. Call Best Moving and Storage today at 239-592-6565.
My name is Steve Unser, and cabinetry is my specialty. I have been creating custom-designed cabinetry for 20 years in Southwest Florida, and now I am celebrating the grand opening of our new Naples showroom. Steve Unser Cabinetry will help you design your kitchen, bath, or home office with stunning results, offering the best quality of cabinets with a wide variety of design options and pricing to fit any budget. If your kitchen isn't becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Now, 2 locations to serve you.
Looking at life after cancer treatment. Surgery for breast cancer is a draining experience, both physically and mentally. But new techniques are helping patients put their diagnosis behind them. In today's Positively Healthy report, we have an advanced surgical technique that improves life post-op. In recent years, there's been a renewed focus in cancer care, aimed at treating the patient as a whole, giving consideration to their physical and emotional healing. Breast surgeon Shell Troy puts it into practice.
Well, I think for years and years, if there is a lump that needs to be removed, the standard method is just to go close to that lump and make an incision and get the lump out. However, the lump may not be in a very convenient location for cosmesis, particularly if you're going to wear a tank top or a bathing suit.
To make breast surgery easier on her patients, Dr. Shell is one of a handful of surgeons in Southwest Florida, trained in an advanced technique that minimizes, virtually eliminates scarring.
We're able to basically use the natural folds of the breast tissue to make an incision, or we may use that nipple areolar line to make the incision to hide it afterwards.
A form of oncoplasty, which combines cancer surgery with plastic surgery. It includes nipple-sparing operations. Doctors have 4 options in hiding scars, each using the body's own anatomy. The delicate operation made possible by using lighted retractors.
So I do have great visibility in the operating room to help in making these hidden scars possible.
The result is an operation that removes cancer but preserves a woman's body image.
That's been a great thing for patients so that they don't have to think about their breast cancer every day when they're looking in the mirror. If we're able to put the incision in one of these natural folds in the breast or right along the nipple areolar complex, you could certainly have a bathing suit on or a dress and nobody would ever know.
These advanced techniques are used in mastectomies and lumpectomies, providing women a better outlook post-surgery. We've talked about storytelling in this week's show, and it can take many forms. Our news team uses video along with the printed word to go deeper into a subject and add context to their writing. The news press recently captured a heartbreaking story of a local man with a terminal illness who is in some respects out of time.
All he does is sleep. He don't eat anything. I finally got him to drink Ensure. But for the most part, his nothing. Nothing, he just lays there. He has end-stage chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. Hospice has been here for 6 months with him and feeding him medications, morphine, fentanyl, Spreva, a whole bunch of them. First he went to his lung doctor, and the lung doctor said he was only at 15% of his lung capacity and he could no longer do anything. So we go home and he winds up in the hospital with pneumonia. Gulf Coast said that he only had 10% left, and then they were the ones who had hospice come talk to us. They gave him like 1 to 3 months. He's still here. 6 months passed and they kick him out because he didn't die. They were supposed to be here with me until the end of his time. That's what the impression I had. They told me that they were going to help me. It would be an easy transaction to get him into palliative care. I'm still waiting for them after a month that I have to sit here and space out his medicine. And thank God for my family doctor, because if it had not been for them, I don't know what I would do. I still had some of the morphine left. Now he was getting it every 4 hours. The every 4 hours went down to once a day to get him through, so hopefully he would be able to sleep. And then other than that, he was suffering all day. I had used up all my vacation because I had to kind of figure out how I was going to get him the help that he needed, that they told me that they would help me with. They haven't helped me with nothing. I'm still stressed about it because I work a 60-hour-a-week job. And my mom has dementia, so she really can't do it, so it's really basically all on me. I want him to get the help that he needs, and I wanted to help other people that has been through the same thing, that can't speak for themselves, that hospice needs to be ashamed of themselves. That's the way I feel.
Amanda and Frank from the News Press are here with us in studio. Frank, you wrote the article. I have to admit, it was really eye-opening for me. This is a very sad story. Did you find out, though, this is not the only instance?
Yeah, it was a surprise to me, too, and to my co-writer, Melanie Payne. We did not know that this was a thing until we heard from the family. But what we found out was apparently this happens to lots of families. We don't know an exact number, but people who go into hospice, roughly 1 out of 5 times for a variety of reasons, end up leaving hospice. Sometimes, as in the case with the Tagmeyers, families unaware, they're kind of caught off guard and they don't know what to do.
And people that are watching this story or reading about it, everybody seems to think there's something someone can do, but it sounds like there's really a lot of hands tied in this situation.
I mean, essentially, the hospice was following the rules set by Medicare. The rules being a doctor determines that you're terminally ill, which they believe you have 6 months or less to live. But sometimes that's not always the case. And if you don't meet the criteria for terminally ill after a certain period of time, you can lose your benefits.
And Amanda, you were able to show people what it's like being in their lives, the close quarters they're living with, the amount of abilities that the man has left. What was it like being there with them? Because that's a very vulnerable time for those people.
It is. Luckily, they were really welcoming to us. They really, really wanted to have this story told. So they were a little more comfortable than some people sometimes are having us there. They were really angry about the situation, and they wanted to make sure this didn't happen to other people if they could help it. So they really welcomed us in, and though it was really sad, we felt like it was a story that really needed to be told. And you know, the camera always gives you a little bit of a buffer between the emotions, and so that kind of helps when you're doing your job like that.
Were you surprised that they were as open as they were? Because we're talking about death and life and death and someone's life hanging in the balance.
I was surprised. First, when we walked in, I felt a little reluctant to just start photographing the father right away. He was sleeping in the corner of the living room, and you know, I felt a little weird about it because I had just met him, or hadn't even met him yet. I had just met the mother and the daughter, and then just by talking with the mother and daughter, I knew that this family was open and they were going to be okay with it. And shortly after, the father woke up and
it was a rare good day for him. Didn't they say that he was actually up and mobile a little bit?
Yeah, he woke up and did a breathing treatment, and talked to us a little bit about his situation.
Well, it was really a wonderful and provocative story, and I think it was made better too by having the video. Why did you decide to shoot video and include that in the story?
I really wanted to capture Chrissy's voice. She had really strong feelings, and you know, you can quote them in the story, but you really don't get the impact of her words until you can hear them sometimes.
Well, it really was a great use of all the different media platforms, though, and we hope that if people have not checked it out yet, they will. They can check out the story in the News Press. That's one example of a compelling story gathered and shared by our news team. Here's a look at what else they're working on the beat.
Thanks, Amy. So this week we're going to take a look at a group of kayakers who's trying to really turn Southwest Florida into a destination. What they want to do is really bolster an old paddling trail that was kind of created in Collier County about a decade ago, but hasn't really been used or advertised or talked about too much. It's a path that runs through all the twisting mangroves and like labyrinth of 10,000 islands between Everglades National Park all the way up to Lee County. So what the paddlers want to do is really bolster that paddling trail, market it, and convince people to come down here to try it out. So you can find more about that at naplesnews.com.
Hi, I'm Harriet Heithouse for the Naples Daily News and naplesnews.com. This week, we visit the Freedom Horses, the second set of Freedom Horses, out at Lely Resort. These horses have been in storage for 25 years, waiting to be installed, and they have twins in the strangest places, like at the Berlin Wall. Read about it in Sunday's Naples Daily News and naplesnews.com.
Another storyteller of sorts, here's Brent Batten with this weekly commentary.
Thanks, Amy. I don't know about you, but I've had my fill of competitive eating. When did one of the 7 deadly sins get to be a sport? If we're going to have competitive gluttony, why not competitive envy? We could get 20 people on stage and have them start envying. How much can you envy in a given time? I'd be pretty good at that. I find myself envying often. I can do a lot of envying in 10 minutes. The Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest at Coney Island is the World Series and the Super Bowl of competitive eating all rolled into one. You've seen the disgusting TV footage of guys dipping buns in water and shoving them into their mouths, followed by frankfurters stuffed in like tree limbs into a wood chipper. It's enough to permanently ruin your appetite for hot dogs. As if that once-a-year event isn't enough, they now have local qualifiers. You can be nauseated in person. And other foods are getting into the act. Locally, you can try to wolf down a few gallons of ice cream or a few pounds of ground beef, all in a single setting, to get your name on a wall or a free t-shirt. People who complete the challenge get the food for free. I say they should give free food to everyone who's in the restaurant at the time for making them witness the sickening display. Even in an affluent place like Collier County, hunger is an issue, and obesity is a bigger problem than hunger. Overeating for sport is just wrong. If we're going to turn vices into sports, let's focus on something more productive, like lust. I'm Brent Batten. Be sure to read my column on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays in the Naples Daily News. Check me out on Facebook, and as always, thanks for watching.
Still to come, if only dogs could talk, what a story this Yorkie could tell. Reunited with his owner after many, many years apart. That story is up after the break.
It's the final days of Bear's $20 million sell-off. Huge savings store-wide, making way for new collections. Up to 70% off every piece of designer furniture, dining rooms, living rooms, bedrooms, accessories, and more. All at rock-bottom prices. Everything must go. Up to 70% savings and more. Plus a bonus 15% off all remaining clearance floor samples. Bear's $20 million sell-off. Ends Sunday.
The area's only 30 minutes or less ER service pledge means you'll find less waiting for the care you need. And because we're full service hospitals, a lot more care if you need it. Less waiting, faster care. Only at Physicians Regional Healthcare System.
Is your auto insurance keeping pace with your life? Ask for a AAA Triple Check Insurance Review to see if your current policy is still a good fit. An agent will assess changes in your life, like new vehicles or drivers. Make sure you've got the right coverage and all the discounts you deserve. They'll also see how a AAA membership can round out your protection on the road. Plus, provide roadside assistance, discounts, free services, and vacation extras. Ask for your AAA Triple Check today.
One of the benefits of living in a tropical climate is the opportunity to entertain outside almost year-round. With a purposeful design plan, you can enjoy a gourmet kitchen in the great outdoors. Our Bears design expert, Kathy Smith, serves up tips in this week's Inspired Living.
Hi, here we are back at Bonita National Golf and Country Club, the Bougainvillea model. And look at this outdoor kitchen. Isn't this spectacular? Who wouldn't want this? Over here, we have a refrigerator for your favorite adult beverages. And we have a grill to cook your favorite gourmet meal. Propane goes down here, bar, and down here you can put your cutlery, your wine glasses, and your dishes. If you take a look, you can see the beautiful tongue and groove cedar plank ceiling that is standard with this Bougainvillea model by Janet Graham. And we have our table that is set for 6 of your favorite people in the world to come and relax by the pool and nosh and eat a fantastic gourmet dinner made by you right here. No running in and out of the kitchen. You don't have to leave your guests for 1 second. I think this is a spectacular feature of what they do here, and Bears Furniture can do outdoor kitchens as well.
File this one under the secret life of pets. An unbelievable story that will likely remain a mystery. It starts with a missing puppy who is returned home almost a decade later. What happened in between is anybody's guess. Tessa, the Yorkshire Terrier, either ran away or was snatched during a trip to Fort Myers Beach with her owner. That was Father's Day 2009. Owner Louise Freelander tried desperately to find Tessa, calling shelters, placing ads, and posting flyers, each time coming up empty, until a few weeks ago when Tessa turned up. She was found near a fire station and turned over to Animal Domestic Services, who scanned her microchip and called Louise. So now, 8 years later, Tessa is back home, a little plumper and a little grayer. She seems happy to be reunited with her owner. You can read all about Tessa's tale in Britley Carloni's story in the Naples Daily News. Before we sign off, we're going to leave you with following sea turtle volunteers on Keewaydin Island. These images are taken by Daily News videographer Katie Clan. That wraps up this edition of Behind the Headlines. Thank you for stopping by. You can always catch up on past shows by logging on to naplesnews.com. On the left-hand side under Quick Link, select Behind the Headlines. I'm Amy Osher. See you back here next week.